Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Silver got beat by these two things. Let's explore. Silver did take a little bit of a beating today. It's not by a whole heck of a lot, but a lot of us weren't expecting this. In fact, many of us were thinking silver was going to rise up by the end of last week to $26 an ounce after some momentum that it had gained. But no, didn't happen. As we begin the next week, the week of Thanksgiving, well, all the precious metal prices are down fairly substantially. Gold actually is down over 2% right now. Silver didn't take quite the hit that we had expected, but it is still down substantially, almost it's about 1.85% drop since the markets opened this morning. So what's going on? Why is this happening? Why are all these metals down? Palladium is down as well, and platinum is down. There's a couple reasons for it. We see the silver falling to a 2-week low, basically because of the rising dollar. That's thing number one. As the silver prices fell on Monday to head for the third straight loss. It hit a 2-week low as the U.S. dollar rose against its peers. In other words, U.S. dollar index against the breadbasket of the currencies around the world. The U.S. dollar, as bad as it is, as bad as this thing is, it is still the top dog in the batch. Think about it as dirty laundry. You've heard of money laundering. Well, essentially, it's kind of what the Fed is doing. They're trying to run this thing through the ringer and to make it look as good as possible and as genuine as possible against these other currencies. It's the best of the worst out there, no doubt about it. So that dollar is going to keep on keeping on, and that's what's kind of pushing these prices down. If there's any kind of suppression, it is the dollar that's suppressing silver right now. In fact, it's happening right now. I'm smacking that silver with this dollar bill. That you are witnessing right before you, price suppression. Smack that silver, smack it down. So silver prices fell 0.5% earlier here since November 10th. And it's right now, silver is sitting at $24.21. That's a pretty big drop indeed. Pretty big drop. And silver prices lost around 2.75% last week, the first weekly loss in 3 weeks, due to profit taking from a 3-month high of $25.38 an ounce. The dollar index rose more than 0.1% on Monday, extending gains for the second straight day, and hit a 16-week high at 96.24 points. The greenback is rising thanks to growing odds that the Federal Reserve is near raising U.S. interest rates, in addition to strong demand due to fears of the coronavirus outbreak in Europe again. So that is kind of the reasoning behind silver going up or going down and the greenback rising. There's the greenback. That's why they call it the greenback. Which, by the way, that was first started by Abraham Lincoln after the Civil War, and during his presidency. And moving forward to the number 2 reason why silver prices are beat down a bit. And that is due to, the Federal Reserve Chair. This is referencing an article from FX Empire. Silver declines after Jerome Powell gets renominated as Fed Chair. And essentially the reason why they're doing that is because the alternative was much scarier. The only Democrat on the Federal Reserve Board would have been pretty scary. And it's scary enough with, quote, Republicans on the chairman on the board. Silver is currently trying to settle below the support at $24.50. In fact, it is well below that now. The U.S. dollar index has recently managed to get above the resistance of 96.25 and is moving towards the next resistance level at 96.5. The U.S. dollar index got a boost after Jerome Powell was renominated for his second term as chair of the Federal Reserve. In case US dollar index manages to settle above resistance at 96.5, it will move towards the next resistance level of 96.7, which will be bearish for silver and gold price today. Gold has recently managed to settle below the support level of $1,830, while SPDR Gold Trust made an attempt to settle below the $170 level. The nearest support level for gold is located at $1,815. In case gold declines below that level, it will move towards the next support at $1,800, and actually it's there now. Gold is now at $1,805, so we may see these prices continue to fall. We'll see what's happening. We'll find out in due course. But, one thing's for sure, there's a lot of things that can put a wrench and fixins on the price, and typically that dollar is what's going to do it the most. The dollar is going to, its move is the direct result, directly correlated. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. We've seen that even relatively recently for inflation fears. The more we see it happen, the more bullish we can be on silver. I'm still bullish on silver. The year's not done yet. We've seen a pretty dramatic move above $25 an ounce. We could get there again quickly and move in positive territory. So as we look at this, a successful test of the support of $24.25 will push silver towards the next support at $24.10. And again, it's getting close to that. It's $24.21 as of the recording of this video. If silver declines below that level, it will head towards the support of $23.90. We've been there before too. Now on the upside, a move above $24.50 will push silver towards the resistance level at $24.80. In case silver gets back above $24.80, it will head towards the resistance at $25. If silver climbs above resistance at $25, it will move towards the next resistance level, which is located at $25.30. So we've got these little stair-stepping places to go for silver to see where it's going to go and how that's going to play out. Once silver gets above that level, and we could see it continue to climb, but it's a long way to the top, and that top is $30, which is what I have predicted for the end of the year, or at least touch on that before moving back, potentially $30 to $35 an ounce. And we seem to see a momentum for a couple of days, and then boom, it starts to move in the other direction. But that's kind of where we are at with gold, with silver, especially gold being down. But an unusual thing happened today, and that is silver's move was not as dramatic on the way down as gold's move was on the way down. Usually it's the other way around. So therefore, that has actually narrowed the gold to silver ratio at 74.86. That shows some resiliency for silver in these cases, which means that, hey, there may be something about that's coming. And I think some of it may have to do with the potential shortage that's coming probably next year up into 2024. You heard me talk about that in a prior video. Silver, an actual silver shortage, not what they had been talking about over the year about silver supply in terms of finished product. That is quite a ways off. There was a shortage of blanks and that type of thing. The U.S. Mint had to correct the statement that they made earlier about a silver shortage that never existed or never was. And now we are starting, as we see supply chains start to reconnect, that means that we could start to see silver products make their way through. One thing that is not has a limited supply are these pre or 1964 and earlier pocket change that we see, the silver coins from 1964 or earlier. And these things are limited supply. There's only so much of it to go around, and people are stacking this up and starting to see some of the premiums on them as well. But nonetheless, I think it's wise to have a little bit of silver and to protect yourself from inflation in due course. That's kind of what it's about. You can stack at various different levels, and one of those levels could be Libertad's silver eagles, or you can even find on the cheap some of these old commemorative dollars the United States Mint has produced in the past. You can find those relatively. These are 90% as well, and that's one way to be able to stack. The United States government issued some of these commemoratives. Trade for not a whole lot over spot these days, especially if there's a lot minted at the time. And there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are about stacking, about collecting, and about silver and where and what moves the price one way or the other. It is interesting and fascinating. I know that sometimes some of these channels, like mine, do videos on stacking and the movement of price from one day to the next. I don't do it quite as often, but hey, those are things. It's part of the fun, I guess, to watch that price move one way or the other. And we continue to stack, we continue to hold, and we'll continue to press on. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude and to encourage you to please rate, share this video, comment on it as well. Yes, indeed, even if it's a little bit of algorithm food, along with that little thumbs up to press on that button. Yes, indeed. And subscribe.